Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In our previous class, we have been discussed about the fertilization in man. So that means here, so how the fertilization it will take place. Fertilization means you know very well, fusion of male and female gamete is called as fertilization. And in this fertilization, during the fertilization, how much amount of semen will take entry means about 3 to 3.5 ml of semen. It will take entry into the female reproductive tract. So see here, this is the female reproductive system. So through this system, what happens is from the male external genitalia, that is nothing but penis. So sperms will take entry into the female genital tract here. So how much amount it will take entry? As you know very well, 3 to 3.5 ml of semen it will be released into the female reproductive tract. So in that semen, how much sperms will be present means, so it contains about 300 to 400 million sperms will be present in the 3 to 3.5 ml of semen. So among that here, how much it will be in active in condition means only a few hundred only it will be in a active in condition. So those are active here. So they will pass us from this cervix. First they will come to the vagina, next they will reach us to the cervix, and finally they will reach us to the uterus here. And when from the uterus they will go to where means they will go to the fallopian tube. Which is the fallopian tube? These both are the fallopian tube. So in the fallopian tube, so who is present? The egg will be present. So in this fallopian tube, only between the what is isthmus and the ampullary duct. So this is the isthmus and this is the ampullary duct here. So here the what happens means the fertilization process it will take place. Egg will be present here. Sperm will fuse with the egg. So as when the sperm touches to the egg, what happens means in the sperm head, so it contains the acrosomal cap. So inside that acrosomal cap, what it contains? It contains the lytic enzymes. It contains, which are the lytic enzymes it contains means it contains the acresin, hyaluronidase, so neuraminidase, so etc. These are the different type of enzymes. What they'll do means they'll help to take entry into the egg, and fertilization it will take place and convert into the zygote. Later that zygote it will undergo the cleavage. So cleavage is nothing but the mitotic division it will take place. The mitotic division we are calling it as a cleavage. So next as the cleavage it will get start here. So the zygote it will be start to convert into 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. Like that you will get cells. So how many cells will get here? 16 cells will get here. 16 cells what we are calling is 16 cells we are calling it as a blastomere. We are calling 16 cells structure what we are calling 16 cell structure we are calling it as a blastomere. So already these things we have been discussed in our previous class here. Now these 16 cells blastomeres so forms a solid mass, and that solid mass what we are calling is we are calling it as a marula. So what is marula means the 16 cells solid mass, 16 cells blastomere forms a solid mass is called as marula. And later this marula again further it will undergo the cell division and forms a hollow ball of a structure called it as a blastocyst. Now this blastocyst, the blastomere in the blastocyst so are arranged in the form of a layer of flattened cells called as a trophoblast here. So yesterday in our previous class we have been discussed up to here blastocyst here. Now this blastocyst what it contains is it contains a number of cells here. The cells which is present we are calling it as a blastomere. Now this blastomere, in this blastomere how the cells are arranged means, so the cells are arranged in the form of a outer layer. So with outer layer cells which are in which condition means they are in a flattened in condition. That outer layer cells what we are calling is we are calling it as a trophoblast we are calling. What we are calling here outer layer cells we are calling it as a trophoblast we are calling. Suppose here see this is the blastomere we will find here blastocyst. So you know very well this is the fallopian tube. So here this is the egg, fertilization has taken place, convert into the zygote. Now that zygote it has been divided to 2 cells, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. So in that manner finally how many cells are present? 16 cells are present here. Now these 16 cells they'll form a solid mass we are calling it as a marula. Later this marula again it will undergo the cell division and forms a what is hollow ball like structure. Hollow means empty space here, because here see whatever the space we are facing here, this is an empty space here. So this complete structure we are calling it as a blastocyst we are calling. Now to whom we are calling it as a trophoblast means, so the outer layer, it is an outer layer of the blastocyst which is here, this is the outer layer. So this outer layers of blastocyst where the cells they are in which condition they are present? The cells are in a flattened condition. The cells they are present in a flattened condition. That's outer layer cells. We are calling it as a what means? We are calling it as a tropoblast. We are calling. See here, even they have been given in a textbook also. Tropoblast means the blastomere in the blastocyst are arranged in the outer layer. So which is nothing but it is the outer layer it is present. So these outer layer cells, how they are present is they are present in the form of a flattened cells they are present. So this layer we are calling it as a what means? Tropoblast we are calling. And inner what we will find means inner also will find a mass of cells we will find. Mass means what? A group of cells we will find. Inside this in the outer layer we will find a group of cells we will find here. What is this group of cells? What we are calling is we are calling it as a we are calling it as a embryo blast. We are calling what we are calling that was a group of cells means that group of cells we are calling it as a embryo blast we are calling. So inner we will find the mass of cells. The inner mass of cells we are calling it as a embryo blast, and even what it contains a cavity. So that cavity what we are calling means we are calling it as a blastocyst we are calling. What we are calling it as a blastocyst. Whereas what is the function of this one means embryo blast means the inner mass of cells differentiate into embryo, while the tropoblast gets attached to the uterine endometrium and produces the placental membrane and provide nutrition to the developing embryo. So as I said you here, which is the blastocyst, this is the structure of the what here, this is the structure of the blastocyst. So outer layer of the cells, which are in the cells in which condition they are present? Cells are present in the flattened condition they are present. Now these cells what we are calling? These cells we are calling it as a tropoblast we are calling. And inner inside that outer layer we will find a group of cells we will find. What you call that group of cells means that group of cells we are calling it as a embryo blast we are calling. What is the function of this one means this embryo blast it will help for the formation of what here? Formation of an embryo. So the cells which is present here, these cells only further it will form an embryo. Which is the embryo? See, this is the embryo. So this type of embryo if they want to form is it is done with the help of which cells here means embryo blasters. These cells only further it will be go on dividing. Finally it will take the shape of an young ones. So that we are calling it as a embryo. So this embryo it will be formed by whom means it is formed by formed by this embryo blast cells here. Next here we will find the space here. This empty space what we are calling means we are calling it as a blastocyst we are calling. This empty space what we are calling? This empty space we are calling it as a blastocyst we are calling. And as you know what is the function of this tropoblast means when this blastocyst it will come and attach to the uterus. So see here this is the uterus here, blastocyst it has came and it is attached to the wall of the endometrium. So this tropoblast it will helps to attach to this endometrium. What is the function of this tropoblast means? What is the function of tropoblast means that it will helps to attach to the uterus after the implantation. Implantation means when the blastocyst formation it will take place in the fallopian tube. So from that fallopian tube this blastocyst it will come and attach to the one of the uterus wall here. So either this side or that side. So to attach to this uterine wall, endometrium wall, because this is the endometrium wall. See, this is the endometrium wall. So this structure it should come and attach to this endometrium wall. So who is supporting here? Who is helping here means the tropoblast cells it is helping to attach to this endometrium layer. Whereas what is the function of this embryo blast means it helps to the formation of an embryo. So embryo formation it will take place from the embryo blast, whereas the attachment to the endometrium it is formed by this tropoblast cell it is present. So like that further development it will be taken place. And next what is the benefit of this one means so even after as soon as the attachment it provides the placental membrane. What it will forms here? It will helps to the formation of a membrane, placenta membrane formation it will take place and provides the nutrition for the developing embryo, and even it will give the nourishment for the developing embryo. It will helps to the formation of a placenta membrane formation to take place, and through that placenta membrane what happens means it will help for the developing of an embryo. Provide the nutrition to the developing embryo. So this is about what happens means fertilization in man. So that means here, so first fertilization it will take place, sperm and egg it will get fused together. As soon as it will fuse it will convert into the zygote. Next zygote will undergo the cleavage, the mitotic division which will take place. That mitotic division we are calling it as a cleavage we are calling. So that due to the cleavage the cells zygote will be go on dividing mitosis here 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. So finally it will form a group of cells here. 16 cells what we are calling means we are calling it as a blastomere we are calling. So this 16 cells, it will form a solid mass of cells. We are calling it as a what here is marula. So marula later further it will undergoes the division and forms a blastocyst. So what is the shape of the blastocyst? Means blastocyst, it contains the tropoblast, it contains the embryo blast cells. In the blastocyst, what type of cells will find here? Two types of cells will find. Which one is the tropoblast cells, another one is the embryo blast cells. Tropoblast cells are the outer layer cells here. Flattened cells we are connected as a trophoblast. And what is the function of this one? Means it will help for the attachment of the uterine endometrium layer. So when after the implantation, when the blastocyst, it will be attached to the endometrium layer. Who is supporting here? Means trophoblast, it is supporting. And embryoblast, what is embryo? Means inner mass of cells we are connected as a embryoblast. So what is the function of? Means it will help for the formation of a embryo. The space which is present, fluid which is present, which is filled with a cavity fluid, that cavity what we are calling is, we are calling it as a blastocele we are calling. So this is about what means about your fertilization in man. Next we will go to the next topic, that is nothing but implantation here. So what is the meaning of implantation? Implantation means after entering into the uterus, the blastocyst get attached to the uterine endometrium. You know very well here. So as soon as the blastocyst formation it will take place, the blastocyst where it will go same is it will go and attach to the uterus here. Where it will go and attach, it will go and attach to the uterus, like how just now as I shown you here. Which is the uterus here? This is the uterus here. Which is the uterus? So it will go and attach to the uterus. So they are like this. This is the female reproductive system. So it will go and attach to either this side or that side here. So from here the blastocyst, it is coming and attaching to this endometrium. This process only we are calling it as a implantation. This process what we are calling? We are calling it as a implantation. We are calling. See, even in your textbook also they have been given the diagram. It is attaching to the endometrium layer. Next, the process of attachment of blastocyst to the endometrium layer is called as implantation. So this is one of the most important question. This is one of the most important question. Many times repeatedly they have been asked in the exam. Define implantation. So either 1 mark question or 2 marks question this is. So define implantation means the process of attachment of a blastocyst to the uterine endometrium is called as implantation. Now implantation take place about 7 days after fertilization. So when the implantation it will take place means, so it will take place about 7 days after what here means fertilization here. So when the fertilization it will take place, so after fertilization 7 days after implantation it will take place. Between these 7 days what happens means there will be the formation of a cleavage, it will be taken place, formation of a marula, and finally it will form a blastocyst here. So within these 7 days up to blastocyst formation it will take place here. Now next after 7th day, so what happen here means the implantation it will be taken place. That means here the blastocyst it will come attached to the what here means attached to the uterine. So implantation take place about 7 days after fertilization. After fertilization when it will take place, so 7 days it will take place, or else even 21st day of the menstrual cycle, even what we are calling 21st day of the menstrual cycle here. Suppose here when the ovulation take place according to the menstrual cycle means 14th day it will take place. Next 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. See here 14th day egg will be released in the female body according to the menstrual cycle. So your ovulation when it will be taken place according to menstrual cycle means on 14th day here. So in this 14th day egg will be released, and what happens means fertilization it will take place here. Later on the 21st day of this menstrual cycle, implantation it will be taken place in the female body. That means here 7 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 days it will be taken place for. Within among these days what happens means in the fallopian tube cleavage formation, marula formation and blastocyst formation it will take place. Finally on the 21st day, so what happens means the blastocyst it will come and attach to this uterine endometrium layer, because endometrium layer will be present. Endometrium layer it will not get a shed. When it will get shed means only if there is no intercourse in that female body means then only the endometrium it will get a shed off in the form of a bleeding, in the form of a menstrual cycle. If the fertilization it has taken place in the female body means that time endometrium layer it will not get shed. It will be remains as it is for what means for the development of the embryo, for what purpose means for the development of an embryo or a newborn baby here. So for the development of an young ones here. Next, during the implantation Trophoblast cell secretes a lytic enzyme. So as I said in here, so blastocyst, what it contains, outer layer cells are present. That is nothing but flat cells like this. It contains what it contains. Here flat outer layer cells are present here. These outer layer cells we are calling it as a trophoblast here. So as this is trophoblast cells which is present outside, what is the function of this trophoblast? Means it will helps for the attachment to the endometrium layer. And even what happens is trophoblast secretes a lytic enzyme which dissolves a small area of uterine endometrium to produce a small depression to accommodate the what here embryo. Suppose here what happens is, so this is the endometrium layer, so this is the blastocyst here. So if like this here means the embryo endometrium, the blastocyst will not attach to the endometrium, it will not attach to the endometrium. So that's why what happens is, as soon as the blastocyst here it is present, the endometrium layer which is present, this endometrium layer, it will produce the lytic enzymes here. These lytic enzymes, what they'll do is, they'll make a small aperture in the endometrium layer. So what they'll do is, they'll make a small aperture, so that, so gap, aperture means gap, so that what happen here means the blastocyst should easily fixed inside this layer. Easily it should hold here, like if you want to hold the ball here means, so you will make your hand in the curvature like this, so then it will be easy for you to hold the ball, isn't it? In the same manner, so if this ball, blastocyst ball want to, if they want to attach to that endometrium layer like this, it will be present. So it just, if it come and attach means it will not hold. So that's what happens means, it should make like this curvature, so that easily the ball should fixed into this curvature. So even in your diagram also they have been shown here. See, it has formed a curvature. The blastocyst, it has formed a curvature. See here, this is, so where it has been formed here, it has formed the curvature. Which is the curvature? See like this. This is the curvature it has been formed. So this curvature, it will be done by whom means, it will be done by the trophoblast cells. Trophoblast cells, they are secreting the lytic enzymes. That lytic enzymes, they'll make a aperture by digging that one here, by digging the endometrium layer this much, so that easily the ball, this blastocyst ball, it will fixed inside this endometrium, and further embryo development like this, it will be taken place by the inner mass of cells, call it as a embryo blast here. So like this, this is the curvature, and this curvature it will done by whom means, it will be done by the lytic enzyme, as I said you here. So which dissolves a small area of the endometrium. Dissolve means that endometrium small area, it will get dissolves and forms a small depression. So for small depression means small aperture, small curvature it will forms here. For what means, for the accommodation of the embryo. Next, after that what happen means, embryo then buried into this and deep into the endometrium layer, later covered by the uterine tissues. Later what happen, it will get covered by the uterine tissues here. The endometrium, the entire process of implantation take under the influence of what here, it will take under the influence of the hormones here. So which hormones means, progesterone hormone and estrogen hormones here. All this process it will take place due to influence of the hormone here. Which hormone? Progesterone hormone and estrogen hormone. Due to these hormones what happen means, further development it will be take place here. The embryo remains in the uterus and undergoes further development and leads to the what here means pregnancy. So which may lead to what here, it may lead to the pregnancy, and all these changes it will done by which hormone means, it will done by the progesterone and the estrogen hormone. Now pregnancy and the embryonic development here. So what is this pregnancy and embryonic development means? So it first of all, it is the sequential events such as fertilization, early stages of development, implantation and fetal growth together are called as gestation. Together we are called as a gestation or pregnancy. Pregnancy to whom we are calling means, or gestation to whom we are calling means, it is a sequential event. Sequential means it will comes in the form of a order. So sequential events means what here? All these things it will comes in the form of a order. So in which order means, first fertilization it will be taken place, where the sperm and egg it will get fused together. After fertilization what happen? So it will convert into the zygote here. So early stages of development. Early stages of development means when the zygote it will get formed, that zygote it will undergoes the division. Which division it will undergoes here? So the mitotic cell division. So that division of the mitotic division we are calling it as a cleavage. So cleavage later due to that cleavage it will convert into the morula. So finally marula to blastocyst it will get formed. So that formation of up to blastocyst we are calling it as a early stages of the development here. Now next after that implantation it will take place here. So blastocyst formation has taken place. Now there is a time that blastocyst it will be comes from the fallopian tube and it will be attached to the uterine wall here, uterine endometrium wall. So because in the uterus which layer formation it is taken place, in the uterus endometrium layer it is present. So what happened, the blastocyst it will come and attach to the uterus endometrium. That process we are calling it as a implantation, and this it will take how many days means it will take place after 7 days of this fertilization. After fertilization 7 days implantation it will take place, and after implantation what happen, so fetal growth it will be taken place. So fetal growth means what here, fetal growth means the embryonic development it will take place. The embryo it will be gone dividing day by day. So finally what happen is young ones it will get born. So complete this process here, complete this event, fertilization, early stages of development, implantation, fetal growth, all these events together we are calling it as a gestation period we are calling, or else even we are calling it as a pregnancy also we are calling here. And the period of development between the fertilization to parturition is called as gestation period. So to whom we are calling it as a gestation period means it is a period it is coming. So to whom we are calling it as a gestation period means it is a period where what happen means it will be start from the what here, it will start from the fertilization. It is a period. So in this period what happen, it will be start from the fertilization where the male and female sperm will get fused here, and up to what means up to parturition. Parturition means so when the delivery it will be taken place, when the baby it will be comes out from the womb of the mother. So or else even we are calling it as a childbirth here. That means parturition means the baby it is coming out from the womb of the mother, or else even we are calling it as a delivery. So that up to that process what we are calling means we are calling it as a gestation period we are calling, or else even we are calling it as a pregnancy period. The gestation period in human female is about 272 to 280 days here. So if you take the what here means gestation period means what is the period of the human beings means 272 to 280 days it will comes here, or else even we can tell that in 9 months here. If you take the months means here we will get 9 months here. If you take in the days means how many days here, 270 to 280 days we will get. So like that complete fertilization it will be taken place in the what here means in the young ones. It will take place inside the mother body. After implantation, what happens is trophoblast cells produces finger-like projection called chronic villi. This villi enters into the uterine wall. So this is the uterine wall. So which is the uterine wall? This is the uterine wall. So after the implantation, what happens is the blastocyst it will get attached to this uterine wall. So as it will attach to this uterine wall, in the blastocyst, the trophoblast cells which is present in the outer layer, they will start to produce a finger-like projection called it as a what is with finger-like projection called it as a chronic villi. So after implantation, when the blastocyst come and attach to this uterus wall, endometrium layer of the uterus, what happens is the trophoblast cells which is present in this blastocyst, these trophoblast cells, it will start to produce the finger-like projection called it as a chronic villi, and this chronic villi it will take entry into the wall. So this is the wall here of the uterus. So this chronic villi it will take entry into the uterine wall and surrounds to the uterine tissues. So this chronic villi take like this, it will take entry into this uterine tissues, and even the blood vessels which is present, even they will take entry into the blood vessels here. For what purpose means to absorb the blood and to supply the blood to the what here means developing fetus here. So that's why chronic villi it will get formed from whom is chronic villi it will get formed by the trophoblast cells of what here, trophoblast cells of the trophoblast cells of the blastocyst. Chronic villi it will get formed by whom is chronic villi it will get formed by the trophoblast cells of the trophoblast cells of the blastocyst here. So this chronic villi it will take entry into what means it will take entry into the uterine tissue and maternal blood, and which is forming a connection called it as a placenta. It is forming in connection called it as a organic placenta. So what is a placenta means the chronic villi and uterine tissues together forms an organic connection called placenta. Now another one definition, what is the placenta means? An organic connection formed between the developing fetus. Which is the developing fetus? This is the developing fetus and the uterine wall. So this is the uterine wall. An organic connection formed between the developing fetus and uterine wall of the mother is called as placenta. So this is one of the important question here. So question may be asked you, define placenta. What is placenta means? An organic connection formed between the developing fetus and the uterine wall of the mother is called as what term is placenta we are calling. So next here, the placenta produced partly from the developing fetus here. Placenta from where it will produce? Placenta it will produce partly from the developing fetus and the uterine wall of the mother. So placenta where it will produce? Placenta it will be produced partly from the developing fetus. Partly from means like this, placenta it will not completely present to the complete uterus. So it is partly present. See, this is the placenta. Placenta it will get partly produced by the developing fetus here. Which is the fetus? This embryo only we are calling it as a fetus here. Placenta it will get partly developed here. So that's why placenta produced partly from the developing fetus and uterine wall of the mother. So it will attach to the uterine wall of the mother. Next, in placenta, chronic villi are restricted to a small disc area. Hence it is called as metadiscoidal. So what is the meaning of metadiscoidal? Definition here means the chronic villi are restricted to the small disc like area. What we are calling means we are calling it as a metadiscoidal. In placenta, chronic villi. So in placenta what happen means, in placenta chronic villi it will be restricted only for the, it is not completely covered to the whole uterus here. It will restricted only to the small area. So that's why what we are calling means we are calling it as a metadiscoidal. We are calling, hence what we are calling? We are calling it as a metadiscoidal. Next, chronic villi are actually bathed in the blood of the uterine wall. Hence the placenta is described as hemochorial. What is the meaning of hemochorial? Another one question here. What is hemochorial means? The chronic villi are present inside the blood of the uterine wall here. Chronic villi where it will be present? Chronic villi it is present in the blood of the uterine wall. So that's why what we are calling means we are calling it as a hemochorial. We are calling hemo means what? Blood. Chorial means what here means? Chronic villi. Chronic villi it is present inside the blood vessels. It is completely present in the submerged in the blood of the uterine means. So that condition we are calling it as a hemochorial we are calling. So placenta is a connection to the belly region of the fetus through a tubular connection called umbilical. So umbilical cord is to whom we are calling means with a placenta is connected to the belly region of the fetus here. So placenta where it will be connected? Placenta it will connected to the belly region. See here like this. So placenta where it will be connected here? This placenta it will connected to this belly region of the fetus. Placenta it will connected to this belly region. It is connected here. So and it is connected to the belly region of this. Belly means it which is present in the stomach. Stomach, in your stomach you having the belly button, it is present here. It will be connected to this one. So placenta it is connected to the belly region of this fetus. So and it is connected by what he means? It is connected by the umbilical cord. Which is the umbilical cord? This is the umbilical cord. Placenta it is connecting to what he means? Placenta it is connecting to the belly region of this fetus, and the connection what we are calling means we are calling it as the umbilical cord. Which is the umbilical cord? This is the umbilical cord we are calling, which is connected to the placenta and the belly region of this stomach. It is connected. So what is the help of this umbilical cord means it will helps to transport the substance to and from to the developing embryo. What is the function of this umbilical cord means it will helps to transport the varieties of food, oxygen and even the waste material from the fetus to the mother and mother to the fetus. Like this it will helps for the exchanging of the materials here. What is the function of this umbilical cord means it will helps to transport the things here of the to mother to the fetus and fetus to the mother. So now here how many questions will arise means umbilical cord. Umbilical cord to whom we are calling? So placenta it is connected to the belly region of the stomach. We are calling it as a umbilical cord. So another one question, what is a hemochorial? Hemochorial means the chronic villi completely bathed. Bath means what? Completely it is submerged in the blood of the uterine here. So blood of the uterine is maternal blood. So it is completely present inside the uterus blood, submerged in the blood. So that's why we are called as a hemochorial. Metadiscoidal, why? What is the meaning of metadiscoidal means? Because the placenta of the chronic villi it is restricted only to the small area. Complete area of this uterus here. Uterus complete area will not find the chronic villi here. Chronic villi, it is present only in the small area. So that's why we are calling it as a metadiscoidal. We are calling. What is the meaning of metadiscoidal? Means the chronic villi are restricted to a small disc-like area. Hence, it is called as metadiscoidal. We are calling. Next, what is the meaning of a placenta? Means it is an organic connection which will help for the developing fetus, and uterine wall of the mother is called as placenta. So questions may be asked here. Define placenta. So define metadiscoidal. Define hemochorial. Define what here means umbilical cord. So these are the questions which may arise in your exam. So diagram, it is not necessary for you. This diagram, it is not necessary for your board exam, but it is important for your need. So need you have to read this diagram, but for your theory or board exam, it is not needed here. So this is about your what means fertilization in a man, where it may leads to the pregnancy, it may leads. So remaining we will discuss in our next class.